so much fun. Welcome to the Con Guy podcast. We are continuing our Jaws 45th anniversary celebration right here on that Hashtag Show Network. And as always, we are brought to you by, Luke, you got it? Neft Vodka, reminding you to always drink responsibly, please. My name is Jim Fry. I'm the Fry Guy, and I am here on the conguy.com podcast. We also have Cheeseman on the couch. Cheeseman, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to talk about sharks and Jaws.
And from Ohio, one of our favorite co-hosts on the show, Jake. Jake, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
What's kind of cool is you guys grew up watching Jaws. You're kind of like a duo of Jaws fans, and I will let you guys talk about that a little bit later, but you guys are also had like competing Jaws collectors to see who can get the most Jaws stuff. But
no contest. Luke has way.
Yeah, there's no contest. He just comes to me every day and I overspend.
But I think we may have some competitors there. This week we are honored to be chatting with the ultimate Jaws fans, the hosts of Let's Talk Jaws Live with Michael Smith and Jay Smith. No, they are not married. We thought they were too, but we just found out today. Anyways, Let's Talk Jaws Live. It's a virtual interactive discussion from the fans' point of view. They talk about everything from the making of the film. Actually, we're going to go a little bit more deeper into that. I just saw something tonight that's kind of cool. That book. They're going to discuss the cast, the crew. They have all kinds of guests. Guys, welcome to the show. They even talk about Jaws: The Revenge.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. So welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I didn't get to meet I know Luke, and I didn't know the guy. What was your name? I didn't know.
Jake.
Oh, I see your name, Jake. Hi, how are you guys?
Hey.
We're great.
Jake, where you at in Ohio?
Columbus.
Oh, okay.
That's where Luke's from too. So we went to school together. We grew up watching Jaws, and we would do Jaws marathons. We'd rent all of them and watch them all one night and everything. We did that more than
Almost till sunlight. We'd start at night and just keep going until we all passed out during Jaws: The Revenge.
Yep. best one to go to sleep to.
Right.
Yeah. I was born in Cleveland. That's why I asked.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Well, Michael and Jay, can we ask
a powerful part and look what happens?
Your fans know, but our fans probably don't know exactly. Where are you guys located?
I'm in Kansas City.
I'm in Boston, Mass.
Oh. All right. We've got to ask, where did this start?
Michael, wait. Okay, I've been a Jaws fan forever. Make a long story short, I go to Jaws Fest 2012. Little did I know there's been several other ones. I go there. I'm meeting everybody. I mean, all the, they had Carl there. They had Joe there. They had Patches there. They had, you name it. And Peter Benchley wasn't there. He passed away. They didn't have purpose, but having a blast. It was Shark Week that week. Michael was there, and I didn't meet him, but he was, he was in charge of giving bus tours and everything. So fast forward a couple of years later, I'm on all the Jaws sites, like on Facebook sites. There's a lot of them. And I know all the community, like really good friends. And I've made such freaking amazing good friends through Jaws sites, believe it or not, like really good people. And
I believe it.
Yeah, and I was talking to Michael, and we were doing this for a couple of years, and I'm thinking, like, we all like to talk Jaws. I'm thinking, Michael is like the guru of Jaws, and Michael's like the freaking encyclopedia of just movie genre in general. Like, you can ask him like anything, and he knows it. So I'm like, I want to collaborate with Michael because he's just like, I will be he can be like Yoda, and
Great. I can't be tall like Qui-Gon. I got to be little. Got to be Yoda. Okay.
I'll be Batman. I'll be a Robin. And he's like, no, you can be Batgirl. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Thanks. Anyways, I asked him to do it, and he's like, sure. And we just talked, and we went on live. We had a couple of mock, live things together, and then we just did it and went, and all our friends came on, and like, it's not even like a show. We just laugh. Michael makes me laugh my ass off. Oh, can I say that? Sorry.
You can cuss. This is a Jaws break.
And it's just genuine, and everybody has a good time, and we just do it for us and the fans. Like, we're all a big family. So yeah. It's great.
But before we go any further, where can people find you in case we forget to ask you later?
Michael?
You can find us on Facebook at Let's Talk Jaws Live. And if you type Let's Talk Jaws Live up on YouTube, our shows are up there as well.
Awesome.
And you're how many? Which night you're live on Thursdays?
Thursday night at 6:30 Eastern.
6:30 Eastern.
Awesome.
9. Okay, great. And then wait, before I'm going to pitch it off to the other guys because they're the big Jaws fanatics as well. Michael, do you have another side to that story you just heard?
Basically, she kept bothering me. She would text me. I had to get Facebook involved. I thought she was a stalker. No, we've just been. I went to the first Jaws Fest in 2005, and I met a lot of great friends there. I met Mike Gencarelli, who's my. We have an entertainment website, MediaMikes.com, cheap plug. But it's the Jaws community is just one of friends. Like they say, amity means friendship. And Jay contacted me in, I want to say, February. And, we'd been chatting before and liking each other's comments and chatting, but bless you, whoever that was. And we would, so she asked me one day, you think we could do this? And I thought it was a great idea. So she's the producer. She finds the clip. She runs the board. I just, pop up and hopefully have fun and make people laugh. That's why I'm here.
Questions. It's like, I'll be like, and he's already like, yeah, that was Jennifer Jason Leigh's father was Vic Morrow. And, the movie Twilight Zone. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Mesmerizing. I thought I knew a lot about like movie trivia, but it goes further than that, like it's unbelievable. And for real, he just like his picture, he's just dry. And I love that because I'm such a goofball, And, I'm very proud of him having him as a friend because, he is an author and he has an amazing book, Jaws 2. Michael's book's out. He had done the making of a Hollywood sequel. If you haven't read it yet, you have to get it.
Oh, wow.
Jaws 2, yeah.
Is that the book that we were talking about earlier?
No,
this is a new one.
Okay,
Oh.
so you did Jaws Log too. Is that what you're saying?
Michael, show him your book.
Oh, I know you're going to say that. And I don't have a
I
don't have a
Jaws
color
poster
copy.
behind you.
We'll make sure we show it, but yeah, just let's see.
Yeah, the other book he was talking about was, the 1975 Edith Blake book.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, beautiful image.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Dang.
Yeah, that's Michael's.
Nice.
You wrote that, huh?
Yeah, I wrote it with a friend of mine, Lou Pisano. He passed away Christmas before last, but took us 4 years and labor of love. The time flew, and it's gotten really good response. So
Nice.
something to be proud of.
Yep.
Good thing you didn't have to do the Carl speed on it. Didn't he have to write his in like a couple months or something?
Yeah, Carl had to fly,
That's
and
insane.
he had to because of the book we'll talk about later.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
All right, Jake, Luke, I know you guys have been dying to talk with these guys.
I was going to say, I think a nice way to kind of like, I don't know, break the ice or whatever is I always like to hear everyone's first experience with Jaws, like the first you saw, how old you were and everything. I got to share my story with Joe when we interviewed him, and I told him that Jaws 3 was actually my first Jaws movie I saw. I was born in 83. So 83. So that's when Jaws 3D came out. And as a kid, I was obsessed with sharks. I would draw sharks all the time. And my dad was like, well, one day I'm going to show you this movie, Jaws. You're going to like lose your mind. It's going to be amazing. So I'm like, okay, great. So then we go to the video store and my dad rents Jaws, the original Jaws. We get home and we open the video box and inside the VHS tape is Jaws 3. So the guy put the wrong video in the thing, whatever. So, but I told him, I was like, I didn't care. As a kid, I loved it. And so that was my.
They just put it in for you, and then you got two sharks for the price of one.
Right.
Not many people know, but Joe would go around the country to video stores and actually switch out Jaws 3 into the Jaws cases.
It all makes sense now. So what about you guys? What was your first experience with the Jaws franchise?
As I'm the oldest, I guess I'll go first. I turned. We moved to Florida from Chicago in 1975. We actually moved down there the week that Jaws opened. I didn't go see it. My grandfather lived in St. Pete, right by the beach. I go to the beach every day, and people say, "Hey, buddy, watch out for Jaws." And I would just say, whatever. Have a good day. So September rolls around. I'm about to turn 15, and my dad wants to know if I want to do anything special. And I had just seen a television commercial for Dog Day Afternoon, and I was intrigued by Al Pacino yelling "Attica, Attica" on the street. So I said, "Well, Dad, I'd like to go see that movie." So Sunday came around. I still remember the date, September 21st, 1975.
Wow.
Yes. Came around. My dad took me to the theater, dropped me off. I went to the window and asked for one ticket to Dog Day Afternoon. And the girl in the box office looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, this movie's rated R. You can't see it." So I kind of stood out there very forlornly out in the hallway. And she kind of leaned forward in that little microphone with a real bad sound. And she says, "Have you seen Jaws yet?" And I said, no, haven't seen it. So she said, go see it. I think you'll like it. And 2 hours and 4 minutes later, I was hooked. Pardon the pun. I was hooked.
That's
gosh,
awesome.
that's amazing.
Wait, so I just have to tell you though, like I'll be real quick. I have a cool story about seeing Jaws 1 and Jaws 3. My Jaws 1 story was when I was a kid. I actually did see it in theaters as well. You and me might be close to the same age, my friend. But I was we went to see Star Wars in 77, and none of us had ever seen Jaws. We were at the drive-in movie theater. I was probably like 7 years old, something like that, giving away my age. But then it was my parents. They saw this advertisement for Jaws. Because you know how Jaws, I think it was in theaters or it came back to theaters like for years. It was
back in the days before home video. That's how you saw quote unquote classic films.
Yeah,
because they would be reissued.
Which I kind of missed it. I think that was a great time. Anyway, so they saw the advertisements for Jaws. We came back 2 weeks later. Jaws was there. Me and my little brother. My brother's younger than me. I'm 7. He's like 5 in the front seat. Mom and Dad making out in the back seat while we're watching Jaws. It was awesome. I had a great upbringing. And then and there's the scene where Jaws is taking down Quint and blood spurting out of his mouth, and me and my brother start crying and screaming. And my mom and dad, they just throw pillows in the front seat and say, "Shut up, we're watching a movie." and they say, "Put this over your head, you'll be fine." So that's how I saw Jaws, traumatized. Jaws 3 was a little bit closer to your experience. I went to see a movie called Blame It on Rio with
Michael Caine. Yes.
Michael Caine and Joe Bologna.
Yeah.
But I was too young to see it. It was
what's her name was underage, Michelle Johnson. They had to go through all kinds of legal things because she was 17. Yeah,
I didn't know, but I was underage too, so I couldn't get in the movie. So my friends all went to go see that, and I went to see Jaws 3D and loved it. So that's my story. Cheeseman, you're next.
Was that PG or PG-13?
Oh, that's before PG-13.
Jaws 3 is PG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't Temple of Doom, I think, the first movie that was PG-13?
No, Temple of Doom and Gremlins.
They made it for
caused the invention of PG-13.
Okay, that's right.
The war movie.
Yeah, the first film released PG-13 is Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Yeah.
The first film rated PG-13 is Flamingo Kid.
There's a connection. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, Luke, what's your first time seeing Jaws?
Well, did we get Jay?
I don't want to follow any of you guys. Mine's boring. I don't know all this.
Well, I guess we can go a little out of order. Mine basically, I think I was 8 years old, watching on a tiny little, like almost like screen that you take like one of those TVs you take in your car that you pop the VHSs in. Like it was around that size, and they had it kind of behind our couch for some reason back then. And I was 8 years old watching it, and I'd watch everything but the shark scenes because I'd get too scared to watch them. But then I got like super obsessed, even though I was terrified. I started just making my own Jaws books, even though I hadn't officially watched the shark scenes. In 4th grade, I'm like drawing shark books where I'm basically ripping off Jaws and making my own version of it. I even did a swimming pool version of sharks and pools and all that.
We both did the same thing because we were in the same class. I tried not to be so, overtly ripping off Jaws. So mine was like Barracuda, but it's
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
Waters was mine.
All right, Jay.
Oh, mine is like my dad is the best because he's got like 5 kids, right? So he went to go see it and he's seen it 3 times. And then he took each of one of us with him by himself. So my father is the ultimate Jaws fan from the beginning. And my whole entire family are Jaws fanatics, okay? But listen,
Nice.
I was 7 years old, and of course, Ben Gardner, my father's sitting there, and I'm waiting, and my father kicks my seat. I screamed at him. Because he knew Ben Gardner was coming, and I'm screaming, and my father didn't care, but he was like looking around, like, like seeing who's screaming. I'm like, oh my God, Dad. He's like, quiet, shut up. I watched the movie. I loved it. The funny thing about it is, I remember being a girl and loving that movie, and I was a tomboy, and most girls weren't like really into Jaws. But I remember getting a Jaws shirt and having a pink Huffy bikes. Remember when the Huffy bikes were like really in, and all the boys had the Huffy bikes? I had the pink Huffy bike and my Jaws shirt, and I was just like walking around with my Jaws shirt. And I think back then, I'm like, man, damn, I was pretty cool because I was the only girl that had a Jaws shirt while all the girls were playing with the dolls. I was playing with the sharks. Well, they didn't have sharks with it, but we were playing the same thing in the pool. Jaws, because we didn't know his name was Bruce, but who's Jaws in the pool? You guys all did that. But anyway, so yeah, I can't follow Michael's story's kick ass. You gotta be he's always got a better story than me, man.
It's not a competition.
Jim Bellamy. He's always got a Jim Bellamy.
It's not a competition.
I'm joking. If you don't know who Jim Beller is like a collector. I joke around with him. He's like always one-upping him on Jaws collective memorabilia.
Yeah, Jim has probably the largest collection of memorabilia in the world. I have a basement full. Jim literally has a storage warehouse full. So yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. And our friend Pete has the original prop from Quint's chair in his rod.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he owns it, and he has Zanuck Brown Productions that work outside of the the town hall. He owns that sign too.
And he's got the toe fin, the fin they towed when you just had to see the fin coming behind the barrels. Yeah, I'll send you if you want. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of me in the chair holding the rod if you want.
Yes, we would love to see that.
It's awesome. Just you sit there and you just like feel the aura. Just yeah.
So we'll pretend like we're looking at it right now. Man, that looks awesome. Since that's just that's just where that picture will go.
And kind of with your story, what I love about Jaws is I love showing my sister's kids or just new people Jaws or just anybody. We have a friend that contacted me this week that wants to see it for the first time.
Yeah.
And show it in his theater and all that he a home theater that they have. But I just love doing it, especially with the jump parts. I'll video my adult friends and even my sister's kids of reactions to watching certain scenes, and it still gets the same kind of jumps like it would back then.
Yeah, we have a Alamo Draft House here in Kansas City, and they show Jaws every summer. And I usually host it, and I set up a display, my memorabilia, and I give away prizes. And I look for people, especially kids, who have never seen it before. And I'll just kind of sit down front and just look, and I'll just watch to see their reactions, because it's a great feeling for me, because they're feeling the same thing that I felt when I was a teenager, and it's fun to know that they're going to carry this on to their next generation.
Tradition.
My wife and I went to a screening a couple of years ago at the Ohio Theater. They did this summer movie series called the Kappa Film Series, and they played Jaws, and it's a awesome restored version of it. And all the scares got huge reactions. The Ben Gardner scene, when he's throwing the chum out and everything, and Bruce jumps up, the place just goes nuts. It's crazy. It's still how many times these people have seen this movie, or the people who haven't seen it, and still just the reaction is so great.
Yeah.
Well, they spent so much time developing those scenes too, and just doing it the right way that would kind of draw your eye. Or like with when the shark comes out of the water when he's chumming, he purposely kind of gives you that laugh right before. Why don't you come down here and chum some of this shit? Like, and also that word was kind of like a big cuss word back then. So you're like, who said that? And then right when you're like thinking that, all of a sudden the shark comes out. So you have this like weird mixed emotion laugh, and then at the same time.
Because you're not expecting, you're totally relaxed, totally vulnerable, laughing at the joke, and then boom.
So,
hey, Luke, like talking about that scene, you ever see the footage of it just coming up without any like of the music or him, and it just you can see it come up and you hear the air, and then it goes there.
Yeah.
Amazing how that like you only had one shot to get it in there, and then you look at it and you're like, good Lord, wow.
Joe Alves talked about that when we interviewed him. He said that when they would film the scenes and you hear the air and the whatever the thing going, he's like, and then they would yell cut and everyone would laugh, like all the.
It sounded like Donald Duck.
And he says, you know, when one of the first screens he went to, he was expecting. He's like, I hope they don't laugh. I hope they don't laugh. And he's like, they didn't laugh. They screamed.
So Jay and Michael, let's hear a little bit about your show. Tell us like the type of show it is, how if people want to interact with it, type of guests and everything. Tell us a little bit about it for those who have never seen it. Which if these are Jaws fans watching, I'm sure they've seen it. So
it's an interactive show every Thursday night. We come up with a theme. Pretty much right after the show ends, we start working on next week's. Basically, it's just her and I, and we have a lot of fans that watch. They can through Facebook they can watch it live, and they can submit questions. We have guests. We've had Carl Gilbert. Carl Gilbert. I work with a guy named Carl Gilbert in Baltimore. I apologize. I'm going to get nailed for this. We had Carl Gottlieb on. We had David Hamilton, Murray's son, who tells.
That was awesome. He told great stories. That we didn't hear before, which was awesome.
That's the episode. You want to check it out. That and Carl. But David tells a great Jaws story that I had never heard before.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was.
Nice.
Yeah.
is that one posted yet?
Yes, it's up on YouTube.
That's right, because you guys, it's live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes up on YouTube, or you can go to the Facebook page and find it.
When we were talking about seeing people's reactions as far as being young and trying to carry on the tradition, like you said about showing it to kids. I was going to the drive-in to go see Jaws, and Michael goes, Jay, when you get there, interview people. So I went up to the Topsfield, Mass, and I went there and I set up the car with this actually behind me. And it's so hard with the COVID to get interviews, but I had this little Jaws thing where kids could put their face through that little hole. And 2 hours on this, and I never got to do. Anyways, I put it on the roof of the car, and I was trying to draw attraction, and I actually got 2 really cute interviews from a girl that was like 20, and she was a Jaws fan. She even knew what the shark's name that was in Jaws 2.
Yeah, she was sharp for a 20-year-old. I was like, damn.
And her favorite line was, of course, she says bigger boat, but then she goes, and when Matt Rufus says, oh, you're all going to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, impressed. And then we had, another girl come on. So it was awesome because I did a lot, like I was out there like live with my little microphone, and, people were kind of like, ooh, with the COVID, but, I kept wiping things down. But we had a great time, and then we showed it. And then I just put a little music to it. I mean, I'm no editor by any means. I'm getting better at it. It's pretty hard. But we had fun, and Michael enjoyed it. We had a great time, and everybody else loved it because they love to see young kids know this movie.
Yeah.
I love it, I love seeing young kids know this movie. And it's great. I just want to keep the tradition going,
Well, what is it that, and I'm going to ditch it over to Jake and Luke, but what is it about this movie that makes it timeless? Like, you guys have a podcast and a show. It's a weekly show. So, somebody would say, you keep on talking about it week after week. Well, hopefully a couple of years from now, you guys will still be doing this. What makes Jaws something generational that people, like you just said, that someone who's 20 and someone who's 50 both have seen it and both love it?
I just think it's something that people share. I shared it with my son when my granddaughter was born, and they brought her home the first night. He was up with her at 4 a.m. and he put in Jaws, which I always think is amazing.
That is.
You know, my dad and I didn't get along very well a lot, but when he passed away, and I had to go clean out his house, he owned one video cassette, and that was Jaws.
Nice.
And that's just, you know, I know that was because of me, and I love spreading and sharing my love of the film with other people, that because a lot of people haven't seen it, or especially now they have a great opportunity to see it on the big screen because theaters are showing older stuff.
Mhm.
And I just think it's you know, it's almost a cliche, you know, where in the film Murray Hamilton says amity means friendship, but that's what it is. Everybody is a good friend and very supportive, and that's what it is. You're just, you know, paying it forward, I guess, paying your love of Jaws forward to the next generation.
Another thing to add too, Mike, is, well, we talk Jaws, but we also lead into other aspects. Like we'll mention another movie and go into, like, you know, the directing of that, and then talk about another movie, and then, right, Michael? And then when
we have guests, we talk, you know, Carl, we talked about the improv group and working on MASH, and you know, writing for the Smothers Brothers and making The Jerk and everything else. Same thing we talked about Murray Hamilton. Talked about, you know, being in The Graduate and good friends with Redford and parts that Redford wanted him for, but he didn't think. Robert, if you ever seen Ordinary People, Redford wanted him to play the psychiatrist that Judd Hirsch eventually played and got an Oscar nomination for. But Murray Hamilton read the part and said, "This isn't me. I'd be good, but I wouldn't be great. You need somebody nebbishy. You need someone like Judd Hirsch." So, you know, just great, you know, and that's what we love about our guests, is because, you know, I know a lot about Jaws, but the story that David Hamilton shared just knocked me off. I was like, wow.
Michael, I swear, when you just said that about I didn't know that about your father. I almost broke down in tears.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Oh.
And what I liked, the best thing I told Jay afterwards, when David would talk about his dad, he would refer to him as Daddy. He would say, "I remember when Daddy did this," or "Daddy told me this," and I just thought, it's, you know, it's not your canned interview where people have canned questions and they're so used to canned responses. It's a genuine, because we're fans. We don't ask all the standard stuff that people have heard 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And you know what's cool? Talking to Carl too, we did his whole career. Like he gets asked the same questions over and over again. And I was like, "Hey, you went to Syracuse University." And then he started talking about that. And then we were talking about The Jerk. And then, you know, all his other stuff that he's done. Like he's amazing, you know. And he was in, I mean, I even brought up he was the priest in Clueless, and he was like, you know that. And he was just, I have to say, him and David, probably the best guest. He was such a gentleman. You had him on your show too as well, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's such a. He looks great, by the way. He looks amazing,
and we're hoping we're hoping that there's many more years left of him.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's great. Yeah.
Did you guys get a hold of David?
We have. We are going to do a show with them, so we're looking forward to. We're just kind of confirming the date and all that. But I saw part of yours, and it's cool that he said his favorite thing to talk about is his dad. So
that's cool.
It just seems like
he was very instrumental in us being able to represent Murray in the Jaws 2 book, because he was on the set with his dad, and he told some great stories that I was able to include.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Well, speaking of books, one of your shows you did, you talked about all the different literature out there on Jaws and the making of Jaws. Can you talk a little bit about that show and about your book as well?
Well, we did a Highland book because I have I'm part of a book that's coming out in the next week or so. The this is the first. This is on location on Martha's Vineyard, making of the movie Jaws by Edith Blake. Edith was a photographer and reporter for the Vineyard Gazette. She was on the set every day, and right before the film opened, she self-published it. It became so popular in that short time that Ballantine Books bought the rights, and it sold millions of copies worldwide. I've got copies of it in Spanish and in French and in German.
Cool.
Universal, seeing this, contracted Carl Gottlieb, who had all his notes from being on the set, to write the Jaws log, which is the best-selling making of a movie book ever. It introduced a lot of people just to behind the scenes of how a film works. A lot of young filmmakers, Brian Singer, Kevin Smith, Robert Rodriguez, they grew up reading that book, and that's what made them want to be filmmakers. But then other books, Joe Alves has a book out, Designing Jaws. Matt Taylor and Jim Beller did a great book called Memories from Martha's Vineyard, which was actually the impetus for our Jaws 2 book. It tells the story of the film, behind the scenes of the film, from the cast and crew. You're just not an observer writing down, okay, this happened, or reading in the newspaper, this happened today. You're getting the actual stories from the actual people, and then they shared. I think we have like over 300 pictures in the expanded color edition. These are all photos that they shared. So they were never before seen, unless you were their cousin and they bored you with a slideshow. So earlier this year, Edith Blake, who turns 95 next month, contacted Donna Honig, who's a good friend of hers at Martha's Vineyard, see if there's any interest in doing a 45th anniversary edition of her book. I was asked if I would be a part of it. I jumped at the chance because in September of '76, I called Edith Blake, long distance from the 7-Eleven by my house at the payphone, because I wasn't allowed to make long distance phone calls from home because I was calling too many Roy Scheider fans and ringing up a huge bill. And yeah,
he was a Dreyfus fan. He was head of the Dreyfus fan club. He showed pictures. I swear to God.
And I did. As a kid, I helped run Richard's fan club, and I started Roy's official fan club in September of '77. But I called Edith and told her, I love the book, blah, blah, blah. And she asked for my address. And a week later, I got an envelope in the mail with 3 pictures that she sent me that weren't included in the book. Years later, I finally got to meet her, and I told her that story, and she remembered me. And I've been to the Vineyard several times since, and every time I see her and we talk, but I was literally, I've before this, the greatest Jaws honor I've had is I was doing a show out in book signing out in California, and I walked into the hotel lobby, and Carl Gottlieb was there talking to friends. And when I walked up, he stopped and he said, "Everyone, this is my friend, Mike Smith." And I was like, wow, that's so humbling.
Okay,
That's amazing.
I also have to know that I love Michael because Michael is very humble at times, and that's great about Michael. He says to me, I didn't even know. He's like, "Oh yeah, I think when we do Dreyfus, I think I might have a picture of a night with Richard Dreyfus." "Oh yeah, here it is." I'm like, huh? What? Huh?
Yeah.
I did it with Richard Dreyfus on stage and interviewed him. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? I was so jealous and amazing. It's just amazing,
Yeah, Richard tours the country and does an evening jawing with Richard Dreyfus, where it's a 2-hour Q&A and then you watch Jaws. And I had the opportunity to hang out with him backstage for a couple hours and come up with the questions, and it was a fun time.
That's amazing. Hey, before we go on, but the name of your book that's coming out.
It is the 45th anniversary edition of On Location on Martha's Vineyard, the making of the movie Jaws. This is a brand new cover designed by Phil Heeks, who lives over in England. There are about 70 pictures in there that have never been seen before. And I had the extreme honor of writing a 45 years later chapter.
Yeah.
Where I get to look at what's happened and here's the people in the book, what happened to them, what happened to the actors, the film's impact, not only on Hollywood, but on people, how it impacted Kevin Smith and it impacted Greg Nicotero, and it certainly impacted me. And it was just an amazing honor to be asked to be a small part of this project.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. And people will be able to pick the book up on, is it Amazon?
It's on Amazon. It's on and out for pre-sale.
All right.
You can also go to bearmanormedia.com, and that's the website. Just type Jaws in the search engine, and it'll bring that book up. It'll also bring up the Jaws 2 book if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I want to mention too that
Of course.
we haven't done a full episode of like Jaws. Like we're gonna probably feature like a fan of the week, where we might do a video, we might do pictures. But for those who are listening who are Jaws fans, go to Facebook on Let's Talk Jaws Live, and just send a request. We'll send it. We'll invite you in right away. Let us know. We also have our email that you can send us information, because we are going to eventually like put all fan art up. We have a guy that just made a replica of the Orca, a smaller version.
Ooh.
Radio controlled.
Yeah.
So cool. It looks so cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna have him on. And then I told Pete I want to have him come on, physically sit in the chair and hold Quint's rod. But anyway, so I want to let all the Jaws fans know to come on. We're all talking at once. We pull up your comment every single time. So it's not about us. It's about them, man. You guys, it's like all about them. It's like we get to talk together. Like we don't own Jaws. We all talk about it. And everybody that we know from all the communities come around, and we all come in, and it's great. And you're all that will come up on time, and it's awesome. We have a great time. And now that I know your show's on too, I'll be checking you guys out too.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome.
I mean, we have viewers that come on at all hours in the morning. We have people come on from England where it's 11:30 at night. We had a couple of people from Australia where it's like 4 a.m. or 4 p.m. the next day. Brazil. It's amazing the impact and the love this film has literally all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long's the contest going on for?
Oh,
when do you pick the winner?
Oh, we just pick someone every week.
Every week. Okay.
Whoever asks the best question or just sends in the best art. We have a cosplay contest. You want to dress up as somebody. You want to film yourself saying a line from the movie. It's all fan interaction. We just we're like the ringmasters, and we keep it flowing in between, but it's really the fan show.
Yeah, the Daily Jaws did. He came on. The guy that ran the Daily Jaws came on, and he featured us on the Daily Jaws. And the Daily Jaws have like 2.5 million people, so that was cool. I dressed up as Ellen Brody.
Nice.
I did my cosplay of Ellen Brody twice, actually, right, Michael?
Yeah.
The turtleneck one with the earrings, and then I did the kerchief when she's saying,
Kerchief with that.
Where's your father? Like that one. Yeah,
we got 3 movies to go from.
And,
definitely.
And it's going live too. It's weird because you're gonna have glitches, and I was like getting annoyed the last 2 episodes we had. Sometimes Michael would be still, and I can't see his reaction. So what makes me laugh is I got to see Michael's reaction side of me, because he does facial things that just like crack me up, like just like Jay, like, and they don't make a joke, and I swear to God, like it's all freaking fun. I forget that I'm on the. You guys forget you're on the air.
Of course. Are we still on?
Yeah.
I mean,
but now.
Way, but like, oh man, it's the bomb.
but now that I know that, I just sit perfectly still like this, for minutes at a time. And
Hey guys, I have a question for you. What's a dream guest you guys want to have on the show?
Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
There you go.
I
It would-
swear to God. Oh my God. I would.
It would be a show with a lot of. She'd have to mute me because it'd just be weeping in the background. I don't know what I would do if I had. I have a very good friend named Stephen Awalt who used to run SpielbergFilms.com, and it was such a good and knowledgeable site that Spielberg would go there to, if he forgot something about a film he made, and Stephen has turned that into a job with DreamWorks. Now Steven Spielberg is his boss.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to be a PA for Steven Spielberg, man. Man, we did an episode all about Steven Spielberg. We did all his clips. We talked about his movies. I mean, oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be fangirling out. Like I fangirled out when Carl came on.
Oh yeah.
Met him like I hadn't. And I talked to him and I was just like, okay. Trying to not to be, I don't know if you guys met like Stan Lee or something. I know you guys are big comic fans.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was great. I have a signature right here.
Really?
I did get to meet him and get a picture with him. It's a sore subject with Jim.
It's a sore subject for me, and I'll tell you real quick. We're out here in Hollywood, and we were on one of the studio lots, and Luke was filming something, and I was helping to produce, and so I was going to grab lunch for everybody on the set.
Yeah.
And as I come back, Luke goes, "Oh no!" While I'm sitting in line purchasing, he sends me a picture of him, arms around Stan Lee. I'm like, "What? What's going on?" I hated that.
Wait, he got it before you? He went up to you.
Yeah.
I did.
By the way, Luke, I
helped
spit
connect
in
me
your
with the
sandwich.
dog.
I want you to know that.
I did see Steven Spielberg once in person.
Oh wow.
I didn't get to meet him. He was on the Martin Short show back when Martin Short had a talk show.
Right.
And he was one of the guests. So I was living in Ohio still, came out here and they're giving out, tickets on the street to come see talk shows.
Yeah.
So we had to unfortunately go back down to San Diego, but I somehow convinced my dad to drive all the way back from San Diego back to Hollywood so we can go on this show. So I got to see, I think it was Jennifer Love Hewitt. So me being a teenager, that was awesome. And then also Steven Spielberg. So that was pretty cool. And you get that kind of starstruck feeling from far away, but I didn't get to meet him, but just seeing him in person was amazing.
Did you know he was going to be on when you went back?
Mhm.
Oh, see,
I think that's part of the reason my dad was willing to do it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We got tickets to Letterman once years ago, and I had two segments of Bill Cosby, and I was like, oh my God. But I did get on camera, and my ex-wife tells a story where she was watching it, and I popped on screen, and she said, "Oh my God, it's Mike," and her new husband said, "At the door?" Yeah.
And so we're probably getting towards the end of our time together. Sadly, we could talk to you guys forever, but there's one segment I know we want to get in before the end, and then I'll let Jake and Luke, they'll end with their questions. But Luke, don't you have 5 quick jaw questions you want to do? Our lightning round.
A little lightning round could be just one word, or it can be multiple. But for both of you guys, so just general, just quick questions.
All
So
right.
question number 1 is favorite character in Jaws.
Quint.
Brody.
Ooh, Brody.
Nice.
Well, you're part of the
favorite
Brody
line from
fan
the
club, I
film.
guess.
Question number 2, favorite line from the film.
Front bow, back stern.
God, I have so many. Probably, even though, God, I hate giving John Milius any kind of credit. Actually, I won't. I won't use that one. The other one I like is my kids are on that beach too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say anything.
I was, but then I think every time you say that line, John Milius gets a penny. So,
Oh my God.
Do I sense a little apprehension here?
John Milius has made a career out of saying that he wrote the Indianapolis speech,
And he went one line.
and he wrote one line. And at the first Jaws Fest, Carl was doing a book signing. Some kid comes up to him and he's signing the book, and he goes, "Is it true that John Milius wrote the Indianapolis speech?" And Carl goes, he goes, it's in chapter 27 of the book you just bought, and he goes like that and slaps it in the kid's hand. And I was like, yeah. But what irked me is somebody was selling on eBay. They were selling copies of the speech that Milius had autographed.
Oh,
he should have just like pointed an arrow to that one line and wrote his
He's a
name.
highlighter.
Yeah. This was me. Yeah.
All right, Luke, lightning round.
Next question. Question
Sorry.
4. Do you have any props from the movie, or like what's the kind of memorabilia you have? I know that's a long question for you because you guys probably have collected so much, but just shortly, like what have you collected?
My two biggest things is I have a piece about this big of the Orca 2, of the sinking Orca, and then I have Steven Spielberg and Carl lived in a cabin on Martha's Vineyard when they were making the film. I got to stay in that cabin at Jaws Fest. I stayed up in the loft where Verna Field's son, Rick, stayed. And we had a barbecue the night before, and Carl took a tour, and he was up in the loft, and he called Rick. He goes, Ricky, guess where I am? And I have that cabin was destroyed a few years later. They built the monstrosity on the property, but I have a piece of the log cabin.
He does.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Nice.
I wish I was at my house in Phoenix. I'm in Boston visiting my family, but my thing as a girl is my whole bedroom is Jaws themed. I mean, I don't have collectibles. I have right now I'm at my mom's house and I have my huge Jaws background, my pictures all over the place, but that and just my license plate, my shirts. I mean, everything is quoted in Jaws. Everybody else rolls their eyes in Jaws. So,
but like my wife, Jay has a very, very understanding boyfriend because it takes a lot for someone to put up with your passion, especially when they like it, but they're not as passionate as you are.
Yeah, that's true. He was watching some of my episodes finally, and he went, "Hey, you guys are pretty good." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks. It's only been 6 months. You got it."
You'll have to send us a picture of your room.
Yeah.
Stage Christ. I told him, I go, thanks for being supportive there. But you know what, Juanita, she doesn't really come on, but she gives him a kiss. It's like a good luck kiss. It's almost like before a game. I'm always like, did she give you a kiss? Because I'm very superstitious. So his wife, Juanita, I love her. She's such a nice person. Gives him a kiss before she goes on. So I'm like, yeah. I don't know about one episode. I don't think she gave you a kiss, and I think it was my worst episode ever. We're gonna mention that one.
All right, final question.
Wait, Luke, you skipped number 3.
Oh yeah. Question number 4. Favorite scene from the film?
Ben Gardner, the head popping out. That's the scene that hooked me. That's where I showered people 7 rows back with popcorn. That is the scene in the film that I judge all other films by.
Wow.
And I'll get people saying, "Are you saying that Jaws is better than Citizen Kane or anything else?" No, it's not. There's much better movies, but this is my movie.
Yep.
This, to me, it'll always be the greatest film ever made.
Nice.
I think mine is like, I know this is going to sound stupid. It changed because when you're a little girl, like when the shark comes and takes the guy in the estuary and then Michael's just waiting in the water, and you just go by him, boom, boom, boom. But I really like the dolly zoom shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. And I just did it the other day. Michael, did you see it on my Facebook? I did with my dog.
Yeah.
I had the little sound effect and my dog. Crazy. Anyways, yeah, that's my scene.
Speaking of
a special way to do it because you back up but zoom in at the same time, which kind of creates that effect.
Yeah, and it's so funny because some of the cameras, like I was thinking about getting on the skateboard, was in the shed. I'm like,
yeah,
it's on the iPhone now. You can just go in on the iPhone. It's amazing what you can do with that iPhone.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I want to add, before you guys let me go, I have to say something about Stan Lee, okay? Because I know that all the comic guys love Stan Lee. He's like, he's Spielberg to you guys. I have a dog. His name is Hulk. That's what my boyfriend wanted to call him. And then I called him Lee. So he's called Hulky Lee after Stan Lee.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's amazing.
Wow.
All right,
And I know you guys would appreciate that because I know you
that's
guys.
awesome. Luke,
All right. Final question, which usually we're asking favorite day filming, but I'm going to change this to put the Jaws movies in order from your favorite to least favorite, or basically from 1 to 4 if you're going to go with your favorites.
You want to go first, Mike?
1 and 2, and then a tie between 3 and 4, because there are parts about both of them that I enjoy. So say 1 and 2, and then 3A and B.
I like that. You know why? Because 1 and 2, and I like 3 because Joe Alvis directed it, and Calvin Bouchard's in it. I mean, you can't, what's his name? Lou Gossett Jr. is in it. But I like 4 because Ellen finally gets to come back and be a badass chick instead of a quivering little woman that runs away from Quint. Anyways, but it's I'd say like Michael 3 and 4. Yeah.
You need to come to SharkCon next July down in Tampa, where they will be screening Jaws 3D with Calvin Bouchard in attendance.
yeah. When is that?
Next July.
Fingers crossed. We'll be
yeah.
open then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully, yeah.
Is that during
It was-
Comic-Con?
It was supposed to be this summer, and it's actually a Jaws 2 themed show. So the kids from Jaws 2 will be there, and some other people. But then they got Lou Gossett to agree to come do
Yes.
Jaws 3 because Jaws 3 was filmed in SeaWorld.
Yep.
So
He does have the best line in the movie when they're talking about the the shark being inside the park, the mom shark, and he's like, talking about some damn shark's mother.
All right.
I got a piece of trivia I've never shared. I don't even think I told Luke. I saw them filming Jaws: The Revenge, the Jaws 4. I was on the set.
oh wow.
What?
Yeah, I visited. No, it's not the ocean set because they filmed in a giant lake on Universal Studios back lot.
They went
Yeah,
back.
didn't they make that? They made that
Oh,
for that.
Yeah.
really?
I was there while they filmed it. It was cool.
Lance Guest tells a story that the film opens because originally the film the shark gets impaled and hangs there and dies after it roars. Now it explodes, so they were able to use the explosion from Jaws. But Lance Guest tells a story. The film opens Friday. Sunday night, the director calls him and says, "Hey, I need you at the studio tomorrow for reshoots." And he says, "Didn't the film open Friday?" He says, the director said, "Yes, it did." And so I actually just interviewed Mario Van Peebles. He told a similar story because originally his character dies, but now he lives. He lives being chomped and by a great white shark and taken underwater for 10 minutes. But
Jake, good old
Oh
Jake.
my God.
Jake,
Yeah, Jake.
and
Guys, go
here's
ahead.
some real quick. I'm sorry, I know we're running late. Some Jaws trivia that I just found out. There is a famous voice actress who dubs a line in Jaws. When Michael Brody says the pond is for old ladies, that is the voice of June Foray, who was Rocky the Squirrel.
Get out of town.
Yes,
Oh, wait,
I
it's
just
Really?
yeah, I found that out a couple weeks ago.
Whoa!
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's amazing.
And now when you listen, and now when you watch it again and hear it, you're like,
I can already
You know-
hear it.
yeah, it's Rocky the Squirrel. Yeah.
All right, guys,
Monster ladies.
we are kind of coming up to the end of the show, but I know that Jake, Luke, I know you guys probably have something that you'd want to ask before we end.
Sure. Have you guys seen that footage where somebody redid a scene from Jaws: The Revenge where they did a side-by-side of the shark and then kind of like a new updated
They're
shark?
trying to CJ,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
That
You might
was
have posted it actually.
Yeah, that was well done. That's well done.
Jake,
I didn't really have any questions. We were going to show a couple of the cool collectibles we had.
Oh.
Yes.
let's do our own Indianapolis scene. I'll start with mine.
Ah,
Look at this. I got this. What do you got?
Bruce.
Oh, cool.
All right. So,
oh, boy.
I also have the
This is-
Bruce cheeky mug from Mondo.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Got one of those.
Luke, what you got?
This is like the closest thing on my shelf.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Haven't
Cool.
gotten that one yet.
it's an awesome soundtrack.
Oh,
Vinyl.
it is. It is. Yes, definitely.
My favorite part about it is the inside, the artwork. Look how cool it is.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
It's so cool.
So I got
Luke,
some new Joe Alf stuff on from his website, signed prints
Nice.
there.
Ah.
This is an official, like he actually drew the shark on there. Those are
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
prints he does.
Yeah, Joe does that a lot.
Yeah, so got that. Got the book on there and another print.
hey guys, I do
Yeah.
have to ask you before we end. Do you make any appearances at any conventions or any, or do you attend any? You said Jaws Fest and then Shark Fest down in Tampa. You guys, where else can people find you?
The first Jaws Fest I went just as a guy, as a fan. The 2012 Jaws Fest, I was a VIP, quote unquote. I had some stuff on display at the Whaling Church, and I did bus tours, which is kind of cool. One of the tours, the guy on the bus was Roy Scheider's head double. When you didn't have to see his face, the opening shot of the film where he's sitting on the bed, that's not Roy Scheider, that's his head double. And so of course everybody on the bus like went and tried to sit behind him and you see his head. It's like, oh, it is. It's Roy Scheider's head. I've done some book signings out in California, Chicago, Florida, and then I did SharkCon last year, and then 2 years ago, and then this coming year I'll be there with some of the Jaws 2 kids, and it's a great event. It's very shark centric. Jaws just happens to be a part of it, but if you're into conservation in the oceans and sharks, they do it. It's a great program. They raise money for shark research. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I do have one more final question that
Certainly.
I didn't get to ask yet. So if you ever got a chance to do like a scene in Jaws, like and be in the water with an actual Bruce, do you think you'd do it, or do you think you'd be freaked out to be in the water and some giant sharks coming at you?
A fake shark?
It's fake.
Okay, because I see some of these videos of people that dive and the sharks are. Sorry, not going to happen.
No.
Though I've always said when I go into the ocean, it would be God's greatest irony if I were to be eaten by a shark, because that would be the headline: Jaws fan eaten by shark. I would do it.
I would do it, and I definitely would never do it. If you gave me $20,000, no. Get in the water with the shark cage, no. If you said Steven Spielberg was going to be right there directing me, you bet you
Yeah,
I'd be in
I
that.
do it. I do it with a fake shark.
Yeah. There's part of me that just feels terrified. Like even if I fell out of the Jaws ride and all of a sudden the shark comes, I'd be I'd like pass
There's
out.
a
or
name.
something.
There's a name for that, like fear. There's something that's like I
It's
can't.
drowning. We all should have said drowning at the same time. Drowning? Yes.
Good one.
There-
Yeah.
there's a name for like fear of animatronics, like in.
Oh, is it really? I thought you were doing a Jaws quote.
It
oh,
is
really?
kind of- It's a
Oh,
real
wow.
thing. Yeah, I can't think of.
Oh, here you make that up.
No, it's a real thing. I saw it because there's a YouTube video I watched about like the Jaws ride and everything, and they were like,
Animatronophobia.
it's like submechanophobia or something about like.
Jeez.
So, did you guys ever ride the Jaws ride in Orlando?
Oh God, here we go. Don't get him
Oh,
started.
no, Luke, too. Aren't you?
God.
You see, they released the cup.
Right.
Oh,
Let's all just go to Japan and ride it where it still is.
Yeah.
Your subject. Don't bring it.
this is me at Universal.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the last time I smiled that day.
Oh my gosh.
Both times my son and I went, we were like in vacation where we sprint to Amity, and the ride's broken.
Never go down.
And it's like, oh, sorry, shark's broken. Shark outside. Should have told you.
That happened to me.
So yeah, so I never got to ride it. Now it's freaking Harry Potter land.
You never got to ride. I must tell you, it was freaking amazing. Sorry, Luke.
Oh, man.
Luke is one of your favorites, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like I remember Jake. I think Jake was in 5th grade was telling me all about it, and I'd never been on it. Like, and then what happens? You go in the shed, and then it comes out like in a shark, and like I was
remember
so
going-
nervous just even going on the ride the first time when I probably went like a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the I've seen the videos on YouTube. The one where like Spielberg's is on the boat. I think Trey Parker's doing the narration, but it looked like a fun ride. It looked like they put a lot of effort into it.
It was amazing.
I think it was just the cost of the having something in the water and everything. And
Originally, they put real shark teeth on it, and it used to bite the boat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they
so
did.
many changes.
They had to do a total like overhaul because the original sharks they put in, like the mechanical sharks, like were like trash and didn't work and stuff like that.
God.
Jay, you're about to say something?
You guys, wait. I am thinking, okay, look at Luke right now. Look at Luke. Who does he remind you of in Kevin Smith's movies?
Silent Bob.
Doesn't he look like Jason Lee a little bit?
A little bit.
Hey, I'll take that.
Bearded Jason Lee.
Young Jason Lee.
My Name is Earl version. Yep.
All right, guys. This has been. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Kevin Smith. He was such a Jaws fan that in Mallrats, the two main characters' names are Quint and Brody.
And Hooper. And Hooper.
And Hooper and Jason
Wow.
Amy.
Jason Amy, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of I note that in the 45th anniversary book that Kevin Smith does homages in a lot of his films. I saw an early screening of Dogma, and I was able to meet Kevin Smith the next day. And I asked him, I said, there's no Jaws homage in it. He said, well, we cut it out. The part where they're visiting the Archbishop, George Carlin. In the background, Jay's got his miter, and he's going through the office like that.
Hey guys, we have got to come to a close. This is terrible. This is awful, but I know everybody's got to kind of run on. But listen, this has been a fantastic show. Thank you guys for coming on with this week. Jay, where can people find you online?
With Michael, we're on Let's Talk Jaws Live on Thursday on Facebook. It's called Let's Talk Jaws Live on Facebook. Just hit a member request. We'll immediately get you on there. We'll pull your name up. We want to hear from you. Like, we'll put your questions down. I put everything up there, don't I, Michael?
Pretty much.
Even when people insult you and I, joking around, like put it up there, but anyways, what else was I going to mention before we go? This week, actually, tune in. We're just talking about paying homage Kevin Smith. This week, our episode is going to be Jaws references in movies. So you got to check it out because I'm pulling tons of clips. I'm starting to look, and I know all these movies have like Jaws reference in it, like Kevin Smith always does. But I mean, now that I'm doing research, there's like so much more. I mean, there's Deep Blue Sea. It's the same license plate they pull out of a shark when they go to. I'm going down the rabbit hole now. I mean, it's just going on and on. So tune in this Thursday. We're going to talk about Jaws references in the movies. And how does it affect on Jaws being, and you'll be 9.5 weeks. I could go on. I mean, I just learned even more that I didn't know. It was really great. We'll hope to see you there. We're so happy you had us on. It's been
We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
It
could be out by the time I'm not sure yet exactly when this will air, but there's a good chance it'll already be out. So definitely check out those episodes.
Yeah. If you let us live, make sure you come back and watch it, guys. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Let us know, and we'll definitely post it. I've got a entertainment website called MediaMikes.com that I did. My partner Mike Generelli. We'll post it there. We'll tweet it out. We'll get the word out.
Awesome. All right, Mike. What about you? Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Facebook and at Let's Talk Jaws Live. You can find me at MediaMikes.com. You can find me on Amazon.
And what's your new book out, or the book that you're part of?
It is on location on Martha's Vineyard, The Making of the Movie Jaws 45th Anniversary Edition.
All right.
And now don't forget about Jaws 2, the making of the Hollywood sequel that he also has too.
Yes.
So.
Jake Gerley, what about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at the Jacoba System. And real quick, one last thing I wanted to show you. One of the coolest Jaws pieces of memorabilia I have is actually Luke gave it to me a few years ago. And I wonder if this was actually in the theater on that opening Friday, an original theater poster of The Revenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it authentic?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you get it? Where did you get it from, Luke? Your uncle got it or something? What was it?
Yeah, my uncle sold popcorn to movie theaters, and a theater had like a lot of just old posters all in their kind of back room. Unfortunately, the theater closed down, but I was able to get some posters I wanted. They had like a big spreadsheet of stuff, and that was one of them.
Nice.
Still have to frame it. It's going to go up in the basement down here.
That was basically the last year that all posters came folded. In '88, they started sending them out rolled and double sided. So definite collector's item.
Yep,
Awesome.
really cool.
Hey, Cheeseman, tell us where people can find you, and then take us out of the show.
Well, we want to know where we can find you too, Jim.
Oh,
so I'll let you close.
I always
this up.
forget that I'm part of the show. I just
Yeah.
kind of sit here and listen. But here, let me get back to me. All right. So you can follow me on Twitter at Jim Fry LA. You can check me out on Instagram at James D Fry, but mainly follow me on the conguy.com website, theconguy.com, DOTCOM Twitter, and at the Con Guy Instagram. Follow us all. And this has been a great show. Luke, take us out.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Cheese on Couch, and also on theconguy.com, and also check out thescareguy.com. So thank you for watching. We are so excited to just be talking about Jaws during Shark Week and this month, and also to be doing all the Jaws 45 anniversary kind of interviews and stuff. But it's awesome to be with some other people that love Jaws here, and they're going to be doing a lot more Jaws than we are. They're a full-time show, so definitely check out their stuff.
What's this?
Oh, they got some show too.
Spielberg. Let's get Spielberg on it. Hey, guys, tech. We're just dipping our nose into a little bit of water. You guys are in deep. All right. Thank you, Joe. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you again. Fair Spanish lady. Tell a new lady of Spain.